Viola.
Chemical ban.
Turn ban.
Chubby Bunnies ban.
Turn the volume down.
Black Feather.
Chemical Stirlings ban.
Lance. What? Lance ban.
Chubby Bunnies pick.
Lyra.
They want to sustain. Sky Kestrel. Right? What? No, they have Lyra, they're trying to sustain. It's either Kestrel or Sky. Grace pick. We ban.
And then ban.
Hero ban. No, Hero ban.
Chubby Bunnies ban.
Ishtar.
It's Kestrel Lyra. No, it's Kestrel Sky. No.
And pick.
Samuel.
Chemical Stirlings pick.
No. No, into the timer. They list all the time. Think of the other one. Think of the other pick.
10 seconds. Five seconds. Sorry?
Jungle. Kane pick. 10 pick. Yeah, Kane.
And last pick?
Or jungle. It's a sound.
$15 seconds.
Taka. Yeah. Taka pick.
Chubby Bunnies.
Silver no.
The dog out.
Alright, Gumpy, would you mind breaking down this draft for us?
All right. Well, Chubby Bunnies, mirror draft, not mirror draft, same draft as the previous one. Gotta say though, I like that comp. So much utility between the three, so much kite as well, and yeah, I think I favor Chubby Bunnies slightly over the chem team this time. Uh, it's just that Taka pick. I think Taka can definitely do things if he snowballs, but with the amount of just utility and kite, right? Sylvanile, Tripwire, Lyra Bulwark, and then of course a Samuel Kite with his Drift and Dark. Right? Taka is gonna suffer a lot. So unless he gets ahead and he can burst people before he gets kited away, then I think the draft favors Chubby Bunnies.
Alright. little bit of some weirdness. There we go. There's the stream coming through a little bit clearer now. Well, good. Yeah, it's really interesting to see. They must have a lot of confidence with that Samuel, Lyra, Silvernail coming in. However, we do have Vital's team, the Chemical Stirlings, coming through. They do have the Taka and the Kane. What do you think is going to happen in terms of like early game, late game? Do you think that if the Kane is able to get into that late game, he's going to be able to just burst people down? What are you expecting to see mostly on the level 1, this first minute right here?
Honestly, I just expect a good fight between them both. Although Chubby Bunnies has that range. All 3 heroes, right? They will be able to do damage in that little brawl at the beginning, while Grace, she might A in, but immediately will be out of favor with your melee matchup.
And that's exactly what we're seeing happen, Guppy. It looks like the Chubby Bunnies think that they're stronger. We have Taka. He's already had about 80% of his health bar get taken down. Meanwhile, Kane is focusing onto Neon, doing a little bit of damage, but Taka does end up going down. So the first blood goes onto the Lyra. It's not who you want to see it going onto, but it's for the side of Chubby Bunnies, that's going to be really good for them getting that first blood, and which means they're going to be able to take a little bit of that front jungle, the middle treant, and already start to get a little bit of that gold lead 1 minute into the game.
Yep, so as expected, right, Chubby Bunny's team, with all 3 of them ranged, they can all do their weight, right? They can pull their weight, while Grace is sort of like a sitting duck. She can't really do as much damage as one would like. And same with Taka. Even though he can get onto people, his damage in the early is not that great. And ultimately, slight positioning mistake in that is a death for Taka. And it's gonna be hard for him. He doesn't want to throw any more than this, and to just try to pick people out when he can.
Okay, well, it looks like Vital's getting poked down a little bit, but he does go out and live. Taka goes into his box, not exactly sure what to do there, just kind of dances back and forth a little bit. If they're not able to get in and engage and burst people down, it's probably going to end up looking like Lyra's just going to be able to heal everybody up again, as Samuel has his own sustain built into his kit. And now Vital's just left to farm alone in his lane. It looks like the second middle treant is going to end up going to the side of the Chubby Bunnies as well.
Yep, we don't see much. I think the other treant, though, with Vital being in the lane, he doesn't have much pressure in the jungle at all. And that should be another Elder treant going over to the side of Chubby Bunnies.
Okay, yeah, it does look like that is exactly what's happening. The side of the Chemical Stirlings, they're trying to get a little bit of invade going on. I'm not sure if they were able to actually do much with that invade, but at least they're applying a little bit of pressure. That's exactly what you want to do with that Taka. If Taka's able to get on that Samuel in the jungle, like, he should be able to win that 1v1 pretty easily.
Yep, I think so too. Just as more as the fight goes on, the more Taka's gonna struggle. With that Drifting Dark, his invisibility will be hindered a lot. Grace taking a lot of damage, but she survives.
Well, both Grace and the Kane taking a lot of damage, but what this is going to enable is they're going to be able to just push under the turret with a 3-man rotation to lane and start to chunk out this first tier turret. And if they can get that early on in this game, that's going to mean that they're going to be able to apply even more map pressure.
Yep. Kane, whatever the A is called, I have no idea, doesn't land onto the Silvernail, but still CSing is pretty decent. That was called triple shot.
Yep.
Yeah, so the triple shot does not connect. However, the CSing is pretty good from the side of Vital, and yeah, it really, I think jungle is going to be the most important matchup here. How much use can that Taka bring to the table with all of that tripwires and drifting darks and bulwarks in the way? How much can he do? And I think that depends, like, is what decides the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there, Gumpy. If Kane is able to land those triple taps, though, we all know that a Kane can burst out either a Silvernail or Samuel if they got caught a little bit out of position. And if Taka's able to get a couple of items, he can too. So it's definitely not an over game. Just the side of the Chemical Stirlings, I think, has to tighten things up a little bit from a team play perspective.
Yep, very much so. But I think like when you have a Kane, you always have that possibility of a kill. That execute is pretty strong, and always that A and B combo. You can never really go wrong with it. Such a clean combo. Yeah, but it really matters with the jungle, as we see Taka getting a Storm Crown. What do you think of that, Remy?
You know, I don't. Stormcrown is one of those items that maybe it's okay to get if you're invading a real lot, if you're taking the jungle very quickly, and if you're already ahead. I don't like it as much when you're behind because it's not going to provide very much damage. Really, when you're behind, what you have to start to play for is being able to get picks and kills. Meanwhile, a fight is breaking out, and the Kane does land his triple tap onto the Silvernail. It's not quite enough damage. There wasn't able to be any follow-up from the Grace or the Taka, so Kane can't do it all alone. He lands another great triple tap. It's playing very, very cleanly, but he eventually just has to back off because he gets too low. So while there was a good engage, both teams show why they have made it this far into the tournament, and they just bounce off of each other. Nobody goes down there.
Apart from the turret, of course, which just went down. Yeah, but in terms of team fighting, I think that was pretty nice. Good damage coming out when he hits that triple shot onto the Silvernail. That is exactly what he wants to do before the Silvernail can retaliate with his ultimate, with his tripwires, before Lyra can heal him as well. I'm pretty sure that Kane knows this, and he'll be trying to go for that.
Yep, that's exactly right. Well, Kane does look like he's probably going to be going for a breaking point or a bone saw. Looks like a bone saw is going to be the second item coming out on Kane. We do see pretty much perfect farm coming out both from Dienzio and Vital. It's what you expect to see. Dienzio just has a 5 farm lead that Kane Vital on Kane is going to build back up right now. So both of the laners are playing to a super high level. But it just seems like a little bit like the jungle is being taken over by that Samuel is where a lot of this gold difference, a 3k gold difference now, is coming from.
Yep, Silvernail slightly getting caught out though, and tripwire going out.
There we go. Grace lands a really big stun. Meanwhile, Kane is just in the back line doing a couple of basic attacks onto the Lyra, but not much more than that. There just seems to be a lot of miscoordination from the side of the Chemical Stirlings. There's been a couple good engages from either the Kane or the Taka, but not both at once. I would really like to see them tighten that up, because if they're able to do that at the same time, they should have 2 kills by now.
Yep, if we look at the overall, as they take more damage, the portal coming in, and that is...
Beautiful Lyra portal. It just lands right on top of that Taka. Taka gets absolutely exploded.
Yep, Kane surviving, but he can't do much at this point, right? It really, as mentioned before, right? It's the Taka. Taka can't really engage onto them when you have a Silvernail, when you have a Bulwark. No matter who the player is, right? It's just the hero itself is limited in terms of what he can do.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There was really good drafting. They did pick that Taka last. Oh no, the big minion goes down. You hate to see that one. But they did pick that Taka last into the both Silvernail and the Drifting Dark of the Samuel and the Bulwark of the Lyra. A little bit of a questionable pick there, I think, even though he's been playing it all right. It makes you very, very scared as a Taka player, because you want to be able to use your invisibility. But against this comp, it's been pretty much completely negated.
Yeah, it almost feels bad for him. Like, he just gets countered by so many heroes, pretty much every single hero that is on their team.
And there we go. Those empowered A's landing onto even the Grace are just absolutely chunking out with that infusion. However, Kane picks up his second item and another weapon blade. No infusion yet, which is a little bit interesting to see. But he is a little bit behind. Perhaps he's just trying to not die and farm up. Oh, Big triple tap lands onto Dienzio, but no, there's just too much heal coming out. Once again, there was no follow-up. They weren't able to engage at the same time. Taka just gets bursted down. There's the empowered A's landing onto the Kane. They're going to start poking down this turret. It looks like the second turret is going to go down at 9 minutes and 10 seconds, and this game is getting a little bit out of hand for the side of Chemical Stirlings.
Yep, it's the same thing over and over again. You see the Kane, he does good damage, right? He is in the fight, but then the Taka, he gets outranged and he can't engage because then the Silvernail is just gonna ult him or just tripwire or something else. Or the Bulwark as well. So at this point, the win condition, if Chemical Stirlings wants to come back, it is all about the Kane and him hard carrying this match.
Yep, well, Kane finally does get his infusion. He still has no deaths on his side, and those bounties are building up a little bit on the side of Chubby Bunnies. If they can manage to get a couple of kills onto Kane, and Kane is able to start building into those late game items, you know, this game isn't quite over yet.
Not at all. Like if you see Vital, right? If he gets that triple A dash triple A, right, with his A and B combo, he can definitely blow somebody up. And that is pretty much the win condition at this point. And then for Chubby Bunnies, they just need to not throw and clean out the game and just take objectives and don't give any kills over.
Yep. You know, while it's not completely over, the Chubby Bunnies know exactly what they're doing. It's so clean to watch. They push the lane as a team, they take the enemy jungle as a team, they sweep through, take the Crystal Miner, go to their jungle, and repeat. Just over and over.
Yep, I'm not sure what the goal difference is. That was
no,
so
the
quick.
Taka gets caught out, and it looks like the Grace is getting caught out too. She's probably going to go down. There's not much that Vital can do. The last I saw, the goal difference was actually 7k in favor of Chubby Bunnies, which was a pretty big difference about a minute ago. Vital's thinking about doing something here, but there's just absolutely nothing. The positioning from the Chubby Bunnies is too good. They're staying stacked on top of each other. It is now an 8k goal difference at 11 minutes. That's a pretty huge amount.
Yep, gotta agree with them there. Chubby Bunny's looking really strong. Definitely finals potentially. And yeah, I think this is all solely to the draft. This is just, I think, the Taka pick. Kane and Grace, I think, are fine. But it really comes down to that jungle.
And now they know who they need to focus. They just portal right on top of that Kane. Even with the Grace Heal coming through, it's just too little too late. Kane is going to get insta-bursted down. There's nothing that Taka can do. Chubby Bunnies are in complete control of this game.
Yep, their comp is just so good. Like, you have so much control, so much anti-dive with, you know, Silvernail Ultimate, whatever it's called, and then the tripwire, the Lyra Bulwark over and over. You know, Taka just doesn't know what to do.
Yep. The Silvernail does have that rebuke, his ultimate, in order to kind of disengage and to stun people as necessary. If we see a little bit of scout trap trolling, because why not at this point? Even though the triple tap does land directly on top of that Lyra, it doesn't do enough damage. Taka tries to go down to Silvernail. They know who they go. There's the rebuke coming through from the Silvernail. Meanwhile, he's just basic attacking down that Grace. Taka managed to get away. Kane manages to get away. But with that Grace down, I'm expecting the Chubby Bunnies to just go right for that Kraken.
Yep, that would be the best decision there. Maybe take Sentry as well, as it is up. But I think Kraken as well. Yeah, this is probably a good decision for them to take.
Oh, but instead it looks like they were baiting out that Kraken and waiting for them to push the lane and then rotating up to lane to kill the two carries. This is just beautiful. There's no other word for it. The team play that's coming through from Chubby Bunnies.
Yep. It is really unfortunate. I think these teams could be much closer, but because of the draft and how just different it is, I think it's just a complete snowball or just dominating fest from Chubby Bunnies.
Yep. Yeah, well, luckily, this is a 3-game series, so we are going to be able to see the best of 3 as soon as this game is over. Perhaps then the side of the Chemical Stirlings is going to learn from this game, and we'll see if they're going to stop the Chubby Bunnies from getting the same exact draft again in the next game.
Yep, for sure. I think the best thing you can do is probably just... it's still the Kane, right? Kane's still a very good hero. He can carry given enough items and damage. But at this point, It's about the next game. How much can they outdraft in the next?
Yeah, it's a 9-0 advantage. You would like to see the Chemical Stirlings at least try to get a kill, so it's they don't just go out completely killless. But the Kane's infusion ran out, which is not the good time for that to happen. He does pick up his Tyrant's Monocle, but without the infusion and only 3 items, he's not going to be able to do that late game damage. However, the Kraken is already lowered down to about half health. They're trying to poke out the side of the Chubby Bunnies, but the Chubby Bunnies once again do just have that Lyra. They can just heal everything up if you're not able to burst somebody down. Even the Grace is getting absolutely bursted down. She's going to have to spend almost 5 or 6 seconds in that base healing up. It looks like the Chubby Bunnies decide to back off, though. They learned from that first game. They don't want to throw and give bounties away. So they're content just taking 2 lane turns, going through and taking the jungle one more time, and perhaps either winning the game through the next team fight or even waiting for the next Kraken push.
That is well said. You don't want to throw, especially with the bounties and how the game is made at this point. You don't want to give 1,500 away just by dying once. So that's what Chubby Bunny does. They retreat, knowing that they've gained an advantage. And at this point, they still play very well. Another portal could be coming out very soon. And yeah.
And there it is. A huge engage happens. And there's a Samuel Sleep. The Samuel Sleep does end up landing onto the Grace. It looks like a huge bee comes out and tries to stun, but it is blocked with the Silver Nail. The Silver Nail is trying to burst him down, but they just can't do enough damage, and now they go back in. There's an ace. They're going to take the Crystal Miner. This is just an absolutely clean game. The Lyra is already in the base, so they portaled over there, and it looks like all 3 of them are going to portal into the base. They're going to take that last sword in just a moment. The Crystal's going to go down, and this is going to be the end of Game 1 for the second match of our quarterfinals.
Viola ban.
Chubby Bunnies.
Blackfoot.
Chemical Stirlings ban.
Silver Nail ban.
Chubby Bunnies ban. Fifteen seconds. 5 seconds.
Oh, not muted. Alright.
Turn Walker.
Chemical Stirlings pick.
Lance pick.
Chubby Bunnies pick.
Lyra.
And ban.
Banish Tar.
Chemical Stirlings ban.
Baptiste ban.
And pick.
Samuel pick.
Chubby Bunnies pick. Fifteen seconds. Five seconds.
Kestrel. Kestrel.
Okay. And Chubby Bunnies, last pick. Ten seconds.
Got it.
5.
Got it. Yeah.
Time?
Got it. Hello.
Oh, sorry. Very, very quiet. Chemical Stirlings?
Pedal pick.
Gumpy, what do you think about these drafts?
Very interesting. I do like the Kestrel and the Lyra. Overall, I like both teams, to be honest, much more than previously. I like the pedal pick into Sky, although maybe at very late game I think Sky might beat pedal, but that's kind of like that could be debated. I don't know.
I
in
might
terms of
debate you on that
draft-
one, Gumpy.
Yeah, in terms of drafts, I think they're much more even this time. The only problem is they have a Samuel, Chemical Stirlings. They have a Samuel and a pedal, and I'm pretty sure that the pedal will go CP, and then the Samuel will be probably CP as well, considering it's a Lyra. But maybe it could be a weapon Samuel.
Very
That would be
interesting.
cool to see.
You know, the pedal last pick was kind of the thing I really like to see. I like the Lance first pick. It's the first time we've seen a Lance. We know he's just so strong. He just has no weak points to his kit. And then that last pick coming out with the pedal, which counters both Kestrel and Sky to such a strong level. If she's able to use that advantage, especially in the early game, and get ahead, this might be a very, very different game than game one.
Yep, very true. This game I think will be much more even. We have the pedal. We have two things, right? We have the Kestrel, very good early game, but you also have the Samuel, right? If he goes CP, he will have good range, and with his Spellfire proc, the Lyra is going to be definitely under, be sort of countered as well, along with the pedal.
What would you like to see out of the Lance this game, Gumpy?
I would definitely see a lot of lockdown. The Kestrel, she can't really do much, right? Because the pedal counters both Kestrel and the Sky. And if Lance does the first impale, if he goes in and then his teammates just coming up with him and just following up on the engage, I think they can definitely do this.
Well, it's looking like we're seeing a little bit of an early fight, but the side of the Chubby Bunnies, it seems like somehow comes out on top. Perhaps the Lyra was able to just put out enough heal, but ultimately Samuel does take that healing tree, which is just huge. You don't want that stolen this early on in the game.
That was a good steal. That is good from Chemical Stirlings to last hit that. And as you can see on the bottom left, that is a CP Samuel. So they might be under pressure or under danger from a shroud once you get to late game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. However, the Samuel, like as you know, that Drifting Dark provides his own peel. The Lance has a lot of peel. The even the Petal is able to provide a whole bunch of peel. It's going to be hard for the side of Chubby Bunnies to get a good engage. I mean, they do have the Lyra portal, but if that doesn't end up working out where they can burst somebody down, there's an unbelievable amount of peel on the side of Chemical Stirlings.
Yep. Is the stream also frozen, or is that just me?
It looks like it's a little bit frozen for me. We're going to try to fix that as soon as we can. I'm going to actually go ahead and try to watch Mizu stream. Perhaps she's having a little bit more luck on hers.
Ooh, look at that sweet double side. Well, here we see Lance. Ooh, Lance going down. I'm not sure what happened there. With so much poke from Kestrel, from Lyra, from Sky, you have so much range, so much damage potential, and not exactly what Chemical Stirlings wants. This might not be the most favorable matchup for him, but I think once it comes to mid game, that Petal, once she gets to level 6, a really good power spike, we can start seeing some better gameplay, better team fighting perhaps from Chemical Stirlings.
Yeah, that's just one thing. Like, I would expect the side of the Chemical Stirlings to even have won that first team fight that ended up happening, but it's just a little bit cleaner, a little bit tighter team play coming out from the side of Chubby Bunnies, and that's really going to be their strength with all the experience that they have. Even if they haven't played the game much recently, they do have all those years of experience to go on. So here we go. We do have an engage coming through the Petal, but the Lance misses the impale. If the Lance misses that impale, there's not much that the side of a Samuel or Petal can do to follow up with the engage.
Yep. So for now, pretty even in both teams. Just wave clear coming on. Lance taking a little bit of damage, maybe a little bit more than he would want to. But Lyra, good sustain. And perhaps they'd want to look somewhere else, because this seems like more of a standoff between both teams in the lane, and maybe a rotation down to the jungle could be preferred.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So like, it just looks, it's just 6 people in the lane right now, and the flask end up being popped by the Lance. That's not something that you really want to see, where you're just getting poked down and then you have to ultimately pop that flask. But the fight goes on. Everybody just bounces off. Nobody ends up dying there. I have to say, it looks like this early game is going pretty well for the side of Chubby Bunnies. They're going to want to get into that late game, and they haven't really been giving anything up so far.
Yep, I agree. Although, even in late game, it really comes down to the team fighting, because with the Samuel range and the Petal heals, the sustain and the Spellfire procs that you do that counters the Lyra heal, I think they can be really important when it comes to the team fights.
Yep, I wasn't able to catch the gold as they just popped up the gold right there.
I believe that was 1k.
Okay, a 1k difference gold to the side of Chubby Bunnies?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. All right, well...
Yes, so...
Yep.
Even more, right, we see a lot of those 6-lane people, a 6-man lane. Ooh, beautiful impale and Samuel ultimate though.
Yeah, it looks like once again both the teams are just going to completely bounce off of each other. The Petal pops, Vital pops the flask just to get a little bit of energy back, and an impale comes through. It looks like it does land, and the Lance tries to use his B, but instead it's not enough to counter the damage from the turret, and the Lance does go down there. That was a little bit of a misplay. He was trying to get that 1 HP Kestrel, but it turns out that he's the one who goes down instead.
Yep, Kestrel getting really low, and so does Lyra. Just Petal doing really good amount of damage, but there's no kill secure. They are low, but the Lyra just heals Kestrel back up while she backs, and a little bit of unfortunate, because I think Chemical Stirlings could have gotten some kills here, but I think it's also great positioning and great control by Chubby Bunnies to just not give a kill over, and yeah. I think they did that pretty well.
Yeah, I agree, Gumpy. It looks like they did that very, very well. And yeah, well, this game is now past 6 minutes. Still no turrets have gone down. And I also think, yeah, also no gold miner has gone down either. So the game is still somewhat relatively even, but I just think that late game favors the side of Chubby Bunnies. But at the very least, this is a much, much closer game than game one.
Right, we can see how much difference the draft makes and how much more uh, passive the Chubby Bunnies have to play with their drafting. And this just shows how crucial drafting is in these really high elo games.
Yeah, well, they were
And
able to
yeah,
take away the picks of both the Silver Nail through a ban and the Samuel through a pick. So that preferred draft with Chubby Bunnies has shown us twice already. They were able to take away two of those three. The Lyra still comes through, but now it's only a 600 gold difference going on to the side of the Chubby Bunnies. The Chemical Stirlings are staying just absolutely perfectly equal here. So this game is just turning out really, really interestingly. Both teams are kind of spending a real lot of time in lane. They're both just kind of trying to poke at each other. It seems like neither side is really doing any super strong engage, but it's been pretty even so far as the Kestrel gets huge bursted down. The Crucible has to come out. The Fountain comes out. The Lyra is probably going to try to land some heals to heal everybody back up, but they almost just bursted right through that Kestrel's entire health bar in about a half a second there. And the team fight is still going on. The turret finally goes down. And Kestrel lands a giant one-shot, one kill onto the Lance. That's another little bit of misposition by the Lance. Now the portal comes through, but she portals back the Sky. Sky, you're going the wrong way there. That's not how you engage. But so now it's just a 2v3. Perhaps the Chemical Stirlings are smelling blood in the water here. The Lyra lands another heal to go up a little bit. Vital is still completely full health. He's the only one who is. However, he's being just a little bit careful. He understands how much damage the side of the Chubby Bunnies does have. He's going to be happy with just that turret. That was just a really, really clean team fight there from the side of Chemical Stirlings.
yep, gotta say that was really well played from both teams. But also, we can see kind of like Kestrel, right? She can't do what she really wants to because of that range from the Samuel, and then of course the pedal, which the minions they just kind of sit in front of the Kestrel glimmer shots and they just tank everything. And yeah, Kestrel not as great of a pick, obviously, but I think it's more of a counter pick here, and he'll just have to make do
And there
until
we go.
late game.
A big drifting dark comes out, and it looks like the side of the Chubby Bunnies is just backing off and being super passive here.
Yep, I think this is a very strong point in time for the Chemical Stirlings. You have both Samuel, Drifting Darks. Look at this range, right? And Kestrel just has to back off. She just can't do anything. Like, look at this range difference. And then Pedal.
A huge
As in, Pale
sleep
comes
comes
in.
through. It's going to have to be Crucible. The Lance is diving super deep under the turret, but there's not really any follow-up from this side of the Chemical Stirlings, but Vital is able to go in with that empowered A's and just get the kill right onto D'Anzio on that Kestrel. And that's going to be another kill going on to the side of the Chemical Stirlings. They're down in kills. They only have the one kill, but they have two turrets. They're winning the objective game here, Gumpy.
We can see the Kestrel, right? Like how, well, I'm sure the player is great, right? But we can see how the pick is really lacking because of the counters. The Pedal and the Samuel with that range, just she really can't do much at all. The best thing I could see is wait till late game, maybe portal in. I could see that as an option. But generally, the draft is slightly favored towards the Chemical Stirlings here.
Yeah, well, this is just a complete turnaround from the last game where it was 1,000 gold a minute happening to the side of the Chubby Bunnies. Now, it looks like there's a slight gold lead on the side of the Chemical Stirlings. It's about a 3,000 gold lead in 10 minutes, and also two turrets down. So like they're gonna have to be very careful. They don't have those first two turrets to run back to and stay safe.
Yep, that is well done from the chems. They know they have what is it called? A map presence. Because the turrets they can't overextend as much as they would want to, and yeah, just good pressure. And it really depends now on the objectives. Now that the turrets are gone, how will they do it? As we see the gold miner being started.
Yep, that's exactly right. The gold miner is being started by the side of the Chemical Stirlings. They feel that they're strong enough that they can just take this gold miner whenever they want to. I do like this. It's a 400 gold to each team. That's 1,200 for the team total. And it's only about 30 seconds before the gold miner would go down anyway, so you're pretty much maximizing that payout. Now they're rotating back through the jungle. They're just waiting for the Kraken to go up. I think that the Chemical Stirlings feel like they can win this one, maybe even with the first Kraken push if they play it absolutely perfectly.
Yep, regardless, even though maybe not the first Kraken push because you don't want to throw, right? The goal difference is not too big just yet where they can really be comfortable and confident. But however, doing at least a little bit at a time, they are not in a hurry to end the game quickly. They have late game with Pedal and Samuel. And yeah, it's just, they got the time. They're doing most of the things pretty correctly here.
Okay, well, here they go. Then it looks like a little bit of a fight is breaking out. They're able to just... Oh, no, they engaged on the Lyra, and the Lyra has to burn the War Tread, so now that's not going to be available, and she has to burn the portal to get out. That means that everything is down. The War Treads are down. The portal is down. She's still going to have the Crucible, but, like, is that enough? I would just like to see the Chemical Stirlings backing off here and just going for that Kraken while all of those activatables are down.
Yep, they don't care about jungle at all, as it seems. They just want to push turrets, and that'll be the choke point turret going down as well.
Very, very clean. Now, we don't want to see an overstay. If they start to give away those bounties, this game could turn around very, very quickly. We know what DNZO can do on that Kestrel, but look at this. This is a 3-man engage. They're just going right on top of that Kestrel, but Lance is maybe overextending a little bit again. He does have to burn the fountain. It's just in time. He lives. Vital's going in. He's trying to poke out the Kestrel, and a snipe actually hits the Lance. He is about 0.01 health, but he does survive. He started on to that treant, which also does not kill him. That was a little bit of a risky play right there. Everybody does bounce off, and so they did end up getting that turret. Everybody lives. That one got my heart rate going.
Yeah, it is really unbelievable how nobody died in that sort of team fight. I was sure that at least the Lance would have gone down, or perhaps the Kestrel, but we saw the Kestrel block coming out as well in that team fight. So this is pretty high level, gotta say.
All right, here we go. The Petal is just off farming by herself, so it is a 2v3. The side of the Chubby Bunnies doesn't know that, so they're just trying to play down a little bit of poke. And right now, the Samuel, even with the Clockwork, is just at 0 energy, so he's going to have to recall just to try to get some of that energy back. The Petal heals are starting to come through in a real big way now, so there's that little bit of healing coming through. The Lance has decided to engage, but the stun lands right on top of a Vital, so now there's about 2 seconds of a 2v3. They're able to poke down the Lance a little bit, so everyone just gets poked down a little bit, but I'm expecting Lyra heals to come through and just heal everyone up, and there it is. There's a giant sleep coming through. It is crucibled out. They live. The fountain comes out from the Lance to heal up his team a little bit. His entire team is about half health on the side of the Chemical Stirlings, and the Chubby Bunnies are able to just keep healing up over and over again on the side of that Lyra, and they're going to try to push through the turret, and there's a one-shot, one-kill that lands on to the Petal. It doesn't kill her, but it does chunk her down, and the Lance is super low as well. The Drifting Dark comes through, and he's landing those empowered A's with the Frostburn onto the Kestrel, but body blocks come through, and now the sleep absolutely misses everybody. A little bit of a forward barrage landing on the Samuel. Nobody dies. No turrets go down. Gumpy, what's going on here?
It's amazing how they can just not die at all. Like they are playing really well, gotta say. According, like, with the draft, of course, with the counters that are present, but honestly, not giving kills away just is really well done from both teams. And we can also see how often these guys play in the lane. They understand that Samuel is really strong both in the lane and the jungle, and Kestrel, she can't really do that much. She can't really move away in the lane. She really suffers from Samuel whenever she's in the lane, especially.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Now they're just marching down once again. The sleep doesn't land on anybody, but the Drifting Dark is just pushing through. If anybody touches that, that's going to activate the Frostburn.
Inspector Gadget.
Can we get a server mute on whoever's talking there?
Everyone vote on me doing fucking nothing.
And
okay.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Okay, now we are back over to the game. What is happening here? Oh my god, they are pushing all the way into the base, and Lyra decides to portal right in, but there's absolutely no follow-up from the team. A little bit of a misplay there. Samuel is able to just take out that Lyra, but Petal's getting chunked down. We have the fountain coming out from the Lance, and there's the Crucible. There's 2 kills. The Lyra goes down, the Kestrel goes down, and everybody lives. It's only Neon Fire left alive on that Sky. They're fighting this Kestrel really, really close into the base. I'm not sure what the goal is here. Are they going to try to take a turret and then maybe go for the Kraken again after that. This is, I feel like, a little bit of a risky play. And there's a huge forward barrage landing out onto the Samuel. The heal comes through from the pedal, but now it's time to back off. That was a little bit of an overstay. What's the plan here, Gumpy, for the side of Chemical Stirlings?
I think they could have probably disengaged a little bit sooner. The jungle is always up, right? You can take Sentry for the 15% extra damage and reduction, I believe. And yeah, just no need to stay too long in the enemy base. But we can see how well they play. They really don't want to lose this. Either side playing really well, given the heroes they have. And yeah, here we see again. Just I don't know what Chubby Bunnies can do at this point, because the Kestrel, she is the main carry, but she hugely gets countered by Samuel, as
And
we see
here's
another
a gauge.
fight breaking out.
Breaking out, and then the Impale lands directly on. The Crucible comes through for the side of the Kestrel, but it absolutely doesn't matter. The pedal's able to just follow up and get the engage. The forward barrage is coming through. It doesn't land on anybody. They're just trying to chase through. The portal goes through from the Lyra to try to escape, but meanwhile the Lance lands another giant Impale. The Githian wall does end up missing, so it doesn't stun. However, both of the carries on the side of the Kestrel and Samuel are low, but it doesn't matter. The pedal ends up getting the kill into Lyra. That's another 2 kills. We'll see if they end up overstaying again here. They're chasing down on the side of for Neon. They're trying to get on. They do end up getting on the Neon. Neon tries to use his B to get out, but it's not enough. That is an ace coming through for the side of Chemical Stirlings after losing the first game so handedly. Now it's just Dienzio up on this Kestrel. He's going to have to try to defend these turrets. It looks like they're going to try to finally push down that one turret again. Maybe they'll get one. I would just like to see them go for the Kraken here. I don't know why they're staying in the base so long.
Yep, I gotta agree here. Kestrel is being pushed back, although one turret is going down. But now the people are back alive, and this could be dangerous, but they are disengaging just at the right time.
A little bit of a risky disengage. The Drifting Dark with those empowered A's, they're able to just kite backwards so effectively. Petal decides she wants to go back in. Good thing the team went and followed up there. Lance was able to land a big Githian wall and get a stun onto that Lyra, and now Lyra is just absolutely mispositioned. She uses the portal to try to get out, but a huge impale lands. The Lyra is dead. Or sorry, the Kestrel is dead. The Lyra's being chased down. I don't think Sky's gonna be able to get out of this. No, Petal's just too much of a counter. If you try to use your Surrey Strike to get over, those seeds on the ground are just going to do damage as you Surrey Strike over them. They're just bursting through this turret without any help from the minions at all, and it looks like game 2 is going to go to the side of the Chemical Stirlings. We have a 1-to-1 series on our hands, Gumpy.
This means we're going to game 3, finally, the first game 3 of our series, of the whole tournament. And whoa, that was one heck of a game, honestly.
Viola.
Chemical Stirlings.
Trent Walker or Ben.
Chubby Bunnies.
Sorry. BF, Blackfeather. Oh yeah!
Chemical Stirlings.
Right. Silvernail, Ben.
Chubby Bunnies pick.
Samuel.
Chemical Stirlings pick.
Support. Need support.
15 seconds.
I say we do Arden. Arden, pick.
And ban.
No, Lyra. Lyra ban. Lyra ban.
Chubby Bunnies ban.
Ishtar.
Then Ishtar.
Chubby Bunnies pick.
Finn.
Now. Salt and pepper. Or chicken.
Chemical.
Orange chicken.
Stirlings pick.
We have a Finn. We have Petal. We could put Castro Petal. Castro, pick.
Uh-huh. And
Mute the hate cold.
last pick.
Petal.
And Chubby Bunnies rounded out for us.
Mute. Or our draft? Okay.
Yep, last pick. Chubby Bunnies, 10 seconds.
Kane. Kane.
Well, Gumpy, if you wouldn't mind just breaking down that draft for us, what do you think? Who has an early game? Who has a late game? What are the team's win conditions?
This is an interesting one as well, I gotta say. Kestrel Pedal, both of them, they can be pretty strong. But also you have the Samuel, and as we know from the game we've just played, right? We know how extremely oppressive the Samuel can be onto a Kestrel. And I'm sure like it can also be the same for Pedal. So I think this might be not the most optimum draft that Chemical Stirlings has produced, but regardless, the Pedal goes well into Kane though. If the minions can block the triple shots.
That's right. And if Petal's able to just wait out the Drifting Dark, then she actually does quite well, because without the splash from the Samuel A's, if she's able to engage on top of it, once she's on top of Samuel, he's not able to disengage. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Samuel is probably pretty strong into this whole comp, but the Arden can use that Vanguard to help them engage. They can use the Gauntlet to help them engage. What are you going to be looking out for that Finn? Who's the Finn going to be looking to pull here?
Let me see 1 second. Well, it really depends. Probably the Kestrel though, but I don't think the pulling is that necessary unless it comes into the team fight in general, because you have Samuel already. You have that range. You don't necessarily need them to get any closer, unless of course you wanna,
Here we go.
secure a kill perhaps.
Gumpy, we do have the outbreak of the level 1 team fight already. We are into the game, and this side of the Chemical Stirlings is just pushing really, really hard. This is what you want to see from a level 1 Pedal, just absolutely destroying everyone, because the Samuel is not going to have that Drifting Dark yet. So here we go. They're invading super, super deep. They're able to pick up the forward healing treant. They're probably going to pick up the 2 front bears. There's no counter invade going on, and they're going to get this middle treant. This is exactly how you want to play from the side of Chemical Stirlings.
Yep, and you have Kestrel. Kestrel's Glimmer Shots, level 1, very strong. Probably one of the very strongest laners in terms of early game, and all around. So Kestrel doing what she does best, and just pulling those Glimmer Shots out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That level 1 power is exactly what you want to use. You want to leverage that, and then you want to just leverage that going all the way into the later game. Now the Drifting Dark does come up from this side of the Samuel, and he's able to throw out a couple of Empowered A's, but not much is able to be done with it. Once again, we see a 6-man in lane. There's been a whole bunch of that with this series.
It really is quite interesting how it's almost the opposite of like the Pitudos versus Watchdogs game, where almost everything happened in the jungle. And yeah, but here Arden taking a lot of damage, but he survives, and Kane
There we
taking a
go.
lot of damage as well.
Now, Vital's in pretty deep here with the 1v2. Perhaps he knows where the Samuel is so that he can do this, but an unbelievably good sidestep there, but he just went too deep. He was going, it was a 2v1. He got super hungry for the kill onto Dienzio there on that Kane, but instead he just feeds Kane a little bit of extra gold.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. We knew what he was trying to do there, but in the end, the Finn with his basics is not to be underestimated. And then, of course, Finn landing the A as well, which sealed the kill at the end.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So Finn was adding a whole bunch of his own damage there. Finn was not low, but it's only a 100 gold difference now. That helped them get back just a little bit into the game. Who wins in the lane, a Kestrel versus a Kane, as we get into this mid and late game?
Honestly, think it's more or less the same. Because of the minions that are there, Kane might slightly win, but honestly, it's really hard to say. It becomes much more important about the jungler rotation and also the support and what they do.
Okay, well, we're just going to have to wait to see how that sounds completely even. Now, this is another jungle Samuel, which is a super interesting pick. Did you expect to see Samuel prioritized this highly? It seems like he's coming out almost every game so far.
Honestly, I wouldn't have seen it coming, but he's really good at countering specific heroes, like the Kestrel we've seen from last game. So it's definitely a pretty good pick if in the right situations.
And for that little jungle fight there, it was a 3v2. The Chemical Stirlings had all three of their heroes down there. Meanwhile, Kane, he's a little bit slow at farming sometimes, so he just had to stay up in lane and farm out, and that enabled the center treant to go onto the side of the Chemical Stirlings for a second time.
Yep, that is good for them. Gold almost pretty even due to that one first blood. The game's pretty much back to even due to also the first rotation, which sadly they haven't capitalized on as much as they would hope to. Speaking about Chemical Stirlings, but nonetheless, you still have mid game, and now Petal is going to reach her power spike of level 6, and now she's going to be much more of a threat.
Yeah, that level 6 power spike on the Petal, especially if you can like get on top of that Kane. The slows are not to be underestimated from the Petal ultimate if she's able to land some of those.
Indeed, and we haven't seen many big invades in terms of like the laner rotating down or something. It's been a very lane focused match, similar to last game, and it seems both of them are fine like this. And yeah, I think the jungle invades will be limited this way.
Yeah, I think that is a definite possibility. It looks like, a part of that I think is what it's coming down to is like the teams are playing around what I would say is their strongest players. You have Dienzio on the team of the Chubby Bunnies, and you have Vital on the side of Chemical Stirlings. So being that the games are a little bit lane focused might not be so much of a surprise considering who the laners are in these two games.
Yep, I agree. And both of them are on heroes that can really carry a game by itself. You have Kestrel, you have Kane, and yeah, good supports as well. Really big tanky supports from both sides. So they're not going to be just squish it out. As a team fight might break out pretty soon.
Bit of poking, but yeah, not too much more than that. Everybody just rotates back up to lane. Like we said, this is lane focused. If they start fighting in the jungle, they say, nope, we're going right back to lane. We don't want to fight in the jungle. Let's go back up here and into our lanes.
This is what we call a farming simulator for the ones that are new to the game. This is where you just try to CS as best as possible. And Dienzio taking a lot of damage from that glimmer shot. Look at that.
That's right.
Not what he wants to do.
Dienzio with Vital with 57 farm in 6 minutes, and Dienzio with 56 farm in 6 minutes. Both laners are nearly perfect farm. Now you even see Vital rotating to the back so to try to just get that little bit more gold. They're trying to get that Kestrel fed as quickly as they possibly can and just have Petal there to be a little bit of that annoying hero. Look at that. They're holding everything. They're sharing the gold in the backs, the side of Chemical Stirlings. That's something that you really, really like to see, the carry sharing golden experience.
Yep, indeed. It really makes games so much better when everybody on the team is very solid. Same with the laning. There's no big diff between the laners. Both are very solid, playing very well as well.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're still just with that one kill. All of these games have actually been low kill games. So last game was low kill. This is only one kill in 7 minutes. A little bit slow, but that just goes to tell you about kind of the level that these players are at. They understand and respect the enemy team, and they know exactly what they can do. So they're playing very safe. They're just trying to farm up. Both teams are playing for the late game. So speaking of that, who has the stronger late game here?
That is really hard to say. On one hand, I would say that maybe Chubby Bunnies has an edge because if you have that Kayn and you can get onto Kestrel, maybe get a pull from Finn, pull that Kestrel in, and then just a combo, then maybe Chubby Bunnies has the chance. But of course, you have the Petal as well, which sort of counters Kayn in that sense, and then you have the jungler from Chubby Bunnies countering the laner from Chemical Stirlings. So it's kind of like a cross between the junglers countering the enemy laners.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. Since we're playing Farm Simulator, both laners while you were speaking there had 70, 71, and 72 farm at the same time. So they're just farming just perfectly equal with each other. 6 men in lane here for about a whole minute straight. They're both just poking around, letting their laners farm. Even while the jungle is up, the gold miner's up, they don't care. There's just 6 people in lane kind of poking at each other.
I think it's going to depend on the Finn and the Crucible from Chemical Stirlings, because that Finn, if he pulls Kestrel, that could be very bad for Chemical Stirlings.
That's true.
As we can see also as we can see the trades going out, it's fairly even, although Kestrel much more confident.
Yeah, that's right. And Kestrel has a little bit more confidence. However, I think the Finn pull. Well, here we go. A little bit of a fight is finally breaking out. The Petal's just poking onto the Finn a little bit, just being a little bit annoying. The Kayn triple tap misses. The Drifting Dark is out. The empowered A's are coming out, empowered basic attacks, and it's just enough to do a little bit of poke. I almost feel like Finn is going to go for a pull here, and the Arden finally goes down. That's going to be another kill on the side of Chubby Bunnies. Meanwhile, they are all low. Vital just infused. Is he going to go in for something crazy here? No, he's rotating around the back. He's not being too wild. So the first turret finally does go down for the side of Chemical Stirlings. Very interesting ultimate coming out from a Kestrel, and she's a little bit mispositioned here. That's scary as a Kestrel because that Finn B counters out the Kestrel B.
Yeah, I gotta say, excellent shot from the one shot, no kill. Yeah, well, also unfortunate from the Arden that he had to go down. But I think overall, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Chubby Bunny's with a slight lead, especially with the turret too. But here goes the gold miner, no contest at all, and that's a lot of gold.
Yeah.
For Chemical Stirlings.
Well, they kind of traded objectives, but not at the same time. A little bit unusual, but it did end up happening. And Chemical Stirlings has managed somehow to eke out a 1,200 gold lead. I wonder where that came from, Gumpy.
Yeah, no idea, honestly. Yeah.
Well, here we go.
As we can see, that kills are not everything. It's about the golden come. You're CSing your objectives, and all that is what matters as a team fight breaks out.
Big fight breaking out. There's 6 people in lane. What a surprise. But the healing is a little bit stronger on the side of the Chemical Stirling, so they're able to sustain. Now the Crucible comes through. I was not able to see if there was a Finn pull or not. I'm sorry about that. But now Finn is pushed forward a little bit too far. Petal's able to heal everybody up. The Finn is super low, then it looks like the Kayn decides to go in and hard engage onto the Petal, and Kayn gets another kill onto the Kestrel. This is turning into an absolute disaster. The Arden tries to get in and get a kill right at the end, but the Samuel finally gets a kill. That's an ace. How did that turn around so quickly?
It was a really good team fight from everybody. It's just they didn't focus a single person. Everyone was low from the side of Chubby Bunnies, but nobody was actually focused by himself. So that is just a little bit poor by Chemical Stirlings, but also really well fought from Chubby Bunnies, gotta say. Every single person surviving from that team fight.
Yeah, that's right. Next time I get to go to look at the gold, we'll have to see what the result of that team fight was. But they did manage to take the entire jungle. They managed to take the crystal miner. They managed to take another turret. Now that's a lot of pressure on the side of Chubby Bunnies onto the Chemical Stirlings, because they don't have any lane turrets to fall back to. If they're going to want to run up and contest that Kraken, or even contest the front half of their jungle, they're not going to have anything to fall back onto, as the Arden's getting poked down a little bit, but no, Petal's there just in time to save him.
Yep. Now we see the Kayn, right? Kayn is going to be really dangerous because Kestrel, she doesn't have the greatest mobility other than her B. And if Kayn can get onto, if he can put his A onto the Kestrel, that could change the outcome of the team fight very quickly. And as long as they play around that and don't let the Kayn do too much damage, I think that Chemical Stirling still has some chance of winning here, even if they're down 0-5.
Yeah, you know, they're down 0-5, but the gold is somewhat equal. Petal a little bit caught out there, but the Vanguard comes through. The Samuel ultimate doesn't land on anybody. A big gauntlet coming out. Dienzio is able to use his block to get out of the gauntlet, adjust himself. Now Finn's mispositioned, but a 3-man pull comes through. The Crucible's a little bit late. However, there's not enough follow-up to able to do anything about it. The Drifting Dart comes through. The Arden decides to use his punch to go in, and there is the ultimate coming out from the Kestrel. The one-shot, one kill. It's a one-shot, no kill once again, and now everybody's a little bit mispositioned. Vital is going to just be caught out here, chased down. Petal is super low. Is she going to go down too? No, she managed to just survive, but that was just a little bit of mispositioning, a little bit cleaner of a team fighting coming out from the side of Chubby Bunnies.
Yep, gotta agree. It's good team fighting, good just making use of every little position mistake that you do and just capitalizing on it. That is what Chubby Bunny is doing very well. Kraken is gonna be taken by Dienzio's team, Chubby Bunnies. Yeah, and the choke point turret is down, so now things are gonna be a little bit more dangerous. If you're on the side of Chemical Stirling.
Yeah, I do agree, Gumpy. This is going to be a little bit dangerous. However, if they're able to get some kind of pick, I feel that all they need to do is just focus one hero. If they can engage and focus, it almost doesn't even matter who. Preferably the Kayn, but even the Samuel. If they can just focus one hero and get them down, then they can take this Kraken very, very quickly with a bone saw on the Kestrel.
Yep, so now they're hiding in the bush. They know what they're doing. This is going to be very interesting.
There's no flares coming out. This is a little bit scary. It seems like they almost know what's going on. There's both teams are hiding in a bush. This is something that you don't see very much. But here you go. They're war treading in. They're trying to get an engage onto the side of the Chemical Stirlings, but it doesn't come through. Vital goes in and he infuses. The Petal's just trying to do a little bit of poke damage, and this was just a strange engagement all the way around. Dienzio now is super extended up. The gauntlet comes out. He doesn't trap anybody, but it's just enough to keep that Kraken separated from the team, and the pull comes through onto the Petal. Again, it's a late Crucible. Nobody goes down from it. Now Vital's going in. He understands that this game is going to be ended very quickly if he doesn't go in. They're trying to burst down on the Kayn, but no, the Kraken's still wailing away down onto the Crystal, and it does end up going down. That was just a great last team fight coming through from the Chubby Bunnies.
Honestly, even if the score doesn't tell the full story, 0-7, but it was a good game. Great awareness, gotta say, great awareness from Chubby Bunnies to understand that they might be hiding in a bush and not overextend.
Yeah,
so
that
really
was as you said, Gumpy. The score does not tell the full story. That was actually a very, very close game. Even though that it was 0-7, every team fight could have gone either way. But in the end, the Chubby Bunnies were able to just position a little bit better, get a couple extra picks, push the objectives down, and they were able to take 2 games out of this best of 3 series and are going to be our second quarterfinalists.